Thanks, Megan. That's my big sister. So it's actually cool to come talk to you guys because, it feels like the other day that I was like sitting right where you guys were in this gym and kind of doing activities with Miss Rieger. She was my first track coach, so it was cool to kind of get that introduction to it, like through her. But it's just, it's crazy because like literally just the other day I feel like I was in here begging Miss Rieger trying to get us to play dodgeball for like however many times, but it's to get to this point. It's been a lot of hard work and obviously staying healthy and kind of just taking care of your body. That's one of the biggest things. Even if you're not an athlete, it's just so important to make sure you're putting like the right things in your body. And jump rope for heart is like a great way to kind of like promote that and just make sure you're doing everything that you can. But kind of like telling my story, like Megan like comes up here and like tells all the accomplishments and stuff. But to me, it kind of just like the way it played out was so weird because I got into track all the way back in like however early they have it start, like first grade. I don't know if y'all did the same stuff. But I was still playing like all other sports like soccer and just like baseball and everything. And it was kind of weird because like I was okay like at soccer definitely earlier on, but like as it progressed, like I feel like I wasn't as great and it like kind of like tapered off to where it wasn't something that I loved to do anymore. And kind of just putting that into perspective, you just got to find like the thing that you find you're really great at and something that you love. And so that was like track for me, and I kind of found that late. And it was like not until my junior year in high school that I finally found something that I really like passionate about and love. And it kind of like just took all my focus and everything into that. And so all these like great things and great accomplishments, they kind of just like came about not randomly. I put in all the hard work and stuff, but to like put it into perspective for you guys, like I just came from your point and just kind of went along with it. Like each thing kept coming. Like I went to junior high and kind of like ran track there a little bit. Then I went into high school and just like enjoyed my time with my friends there and stuff. Like track still wasn't like something super important to me. I just enjoyed hanging out with my friends. I'd go out to the track meets and do all that stuff. And then like later in my like senior year, then it was like, okay, like this is probably something I'm good at. I'll start pursuing it. And I was able to go to KU. And it was just like a fun journey. Even then, still going along with it. And even today, I'm just like, all right, this is something fun to do. And I don't know, it's something that just like, the only way that I can explain it is like a God-given talent. Like I kind of just thankful for all the support that I get from my family and all these teachers and all of you guys that kind of make it possible. Because through you and like everything is like what makes it feel possible in me. Because like I still just be myself as like a little kid, just like sitting here. I don't know. That's the best way that I can explain it. But as for like taking care of my body and stuff, like the way I put it is, whatever you're like putting into your body with like eating and staying healthy, it's like whatever you put in there is going to become a part of you. And so day to day, it's like the little things that make you great. You kind of got to like focus on just everything that you do, whether it's like nutrition or exercise. I know exercise is tough. Like there's days where I don't even want to get out there. Like it's funny. Like I'll be with my teammates and my coaches, and they'll be like, "Hey, coach, I don't want to do this today," but they pull me through it and stuff, and it's hard to like kind of stay on top of that stuff. And I don't know, it's a day-to-day grind, and I think being here at St. Anne's and like the things I learned from this Rieger is just a great foundation to kind of build off of and stuff. But I don't want to be like ramble on, but I don't know, it's exciting to come here and talk to you because hopefully you can like relate in that I still just have that mindset where like everything just came so like naturally with being here at St. Anne's, and I'm excited to kind of see like what you guys do. I get updates from Megan kind of all the time, just like through here at St. Anne's and stuff. But yeah, just it's kind of all I came prepared to say. And I don't know. Yeah, I'll kind of like open up to questions. That'll be like an easier format. What's up right here? A good amount. It's a little comfortably. I don't know how to answer that one. Okay, that's a good question. So, as I was saying, like I was playing a bunch of different sports and kind of just like going along with that. My soccer coach actually had us go to cross country my sophomore year in high school, and just to like stay in shape over the years. And I didn't like it at first. We'd have to wake up at like 5:30 a.m. I was like, why do I have to wake up this early to go to this? But that was like where I found some of like my best friends, and just kind of like hanging out with those guys and having fun with them is what like drew me more into track. It wasn't necessarily that I was like good at it or like the talent that I had for it. It was what made it fun. It was like I'm just hanging out with my friends and having a great time with them, and then kind of figuring out that I was good at it came along later. And so yeah, it was honestly something that I didn't like at first. I mean, who likes to run? Like it's hard, but no, I think the things that came along with it, those friendships, and like all the great like staying in shape and the activity, like just keeping you healthy, was just kind of like all the things that came along with it and made me love it over time.
Well, all right, so this last year has been a challenge for all of us. For you, it's got to have been a real challenge. How have you stayed in shape? How have you kept it up with COVID and not being able to go to as many meets as you should and all the rest of that?
Yeah, so it was tough with COVID, and I think that's where the community came in and helped for me, because normally I'm used to like being up in Kansas. I still train at the University of Kansas, and like having all these teammates and people to like push me through training and stuff. But then all of a sudden when I came here, you couldn't be around a lot of people because COVID like keeps you away from large groups. And so training alone was like super tough. But like being back here just with my family, and then like all the connections of like the friendships that I made through high school and stuff, and there's a lot of like community outreach that kind of like helped me keep on training. It's like, okay, like I'm doing this for Midland, and like I just want to represent them well when I get to be on that stage again for Team USA. And I think that's what kept me going. Like there's so many hard times where I'll just like be down, like obviously not feeling good. Like it's so hard to like train at that level, that thinking about my family and just like the community, and like honestly sometimes you guys, because like Megan will tell me about the times where you're sitting in here watching my races, and that's what keeps me going. Like you think about, I don't know, people like seeing me as like this great runner out there, but again, like to reiterate, like what makes me great is like all the support that I have, and like everyone that makes it possible outside of that other than me. Favorite race? Like specific race or like distance? I run the 800, but secretly I think my coach tries to make me into a miler, just with like all the mileage that he makes me do. The 800 is the most fun, just because, I mean, the shorter the better, honestly. I'm going to be out there anyway. But I don't know, I got pretty good at the 800, so that one's fun to do. And it's only 2 laps around the track, so it's pretty easy. It probably comes around to like 3 hours. I mean, my runs will usually be like 45 to like 70 minutes. And so we got to do that, and we got to do like strength training and stuff. And so like when I'm up in Kansas, they got to like bust us out to like dirt road and stuff so we can get like lower impact on the knee, so we're not on pavement and stuff. So it takes up a lot of time. But I mean, running just for like 45 to an hour straight is, I don't know, it's a fun time to just like be in your own mind and think about things. And honestly, I found like one of the great things about running is like you kind of just like have that time to think. And honestly, it's a good time to like pray to God, and that's definitely a big like strength of what keeps me going, because like it's hard to keep your leg moving for 45 minutes. I don't know, again, it's hard, but I don't know, it's a good time to kind of reflect on that.
Favorite place that you've traveled to?
Definitely Rome. Okay, so that's one of the cool things. I actually wasn't racing in Rome, but it just so happened like almost like something drew me there. So I was racing in Croatia, and then we're going to like the Middle East to race in Doha, and my agent like calls up and says like, hey, like surely you don't want to come back to the United States and then go all the way back out to Doha. And they're like, how about you just like come chill in Rome with us for a little bit and just kind of like hang out, and then we'll ship you off to Doha for your next race. And I was like, yeah, I'll go to Rome. And so I was like chilling there for maybe like 3 to 4 days. And obviously Rome is like where the Vatican and like where the Pope is and everything. And so I just like had the opportunity to be like explore the Vatican, and like that was the most beautiful thing I've like ever seen. Like something that came from our religion, like Catholicism and everything. Like I've been to like a lot of places around the world, but something that just like came from that, and like St. Peter's Basilica, and just everything there was stunning. And I have a lot of pictures, and I still just reflect on that, and it is the most beautiful thing I could see. Like Rome is awesome, and hopefully you all have the opportunity to go there sometime yourselves back in the former day. I haven't pulled any muscles. That's like the scary thing, like injury could like take me out of for a long time, like obviously running is my job now, so that's a good thing is like staying hydrated is actually a huge thing. It was funny because like recently my foot was hurting and then I had like a kind of like a strained calf, and I went in to like get it worked on with my trainer and like masseuse and stuff, and it's like, have you been drinking a lot of water? And I was like, like I can't remember the last time I drank water today. And so even just like staying hydrated is crazy. Like there's the little things you can maybe like forget about, but like you just gotta like stay on top of it. And like even maybe just not drinking a lot of water today can like take me out for like a few weeks, which is crazy because like even I'm not that mindful to kind of stay on top of that. But
you mentioned day and night race. You have to take your looking to pre-race, targets during the race, and post-race.
yeah, so pre-race, I've kind of come into like this routine of like, I mean, now we like race in the evenings, so now that you mention it, all this like comes in really well with just like nutrition, because like that the day before like I'll race, it's almost all focused on just like resting, making sure my legs are up, and like making sure body's like well recovered. And I focus on just like drinking Pedialyte. I have like my row of, it was funny, like before my national championship race, I was in my hotel, and I literally just like had this like probably row of just like water bottles just like lined up, and like all like Gatorade and stuff. And it was just like all the hydration that I've been going through like that day and the day before. I was just like making sure I was about to be ready. And like I had like the specific times that I was gonna get these meals in, and I had like the ham sandwich that I wanted to do with fruit for my lunch, and like a big breakfast to make sure you're just like well like energized and like have the fuel to go out there and run. And so I don't know, a lot of laying around and kind of just like making sure I get the meal and hydration in before my races. Listening to music too, you gotta get hyped up for the races. And I mean, praying again is just like, you have so much time in my profession to kind of just like sit around. So I think like praying and just like reflecting on yourself is one of the great things that I get to do, kind of like outside of that. But I know leading up to that, I just go out there and race, and afterwards, normally, like you're supposed to do your cool down, just like to make sure your like muscles are kind of just like well relaxed after the race, because you just put them through like a lot of strain. But that's something I need to get better at too, because sometimes my coach will just yell at me like, hey, like, you know what I mean, sitting right on, you need to go get your cool down in, but sometimes I get away with not doing it. But I don't know. Any more questions? Athletes, but I'm not sure what. That's just like a rash type thing, isn't it? I don't think so.
That's like the itching up your butt.
Yeah, I know. I haven't had that before.
I have a question.
What's up?
Okay, so you, started, being professional when you were here in college, is that right, or after your junior year?
Yeah. So yeah, I went after.
Did you ever finish college?
I'm actually still working on that right now. So that's why I'm up at the University of Kansas, still training, working on my degree.
What are you getting your degree?
Business finance.
Well, yeah, you're making some money.
Yeah. Hopefully open my own business, and then I don't know, like we haven't really talked about it a lot, but one of the things that me and my dad were kind of like dreaming of was kind of like making like a track haven to where people make, like here in Midland, make a track and like have study rooms and stuff to where like students like you guys like after school can kind of just like come and hang out and just get some running in and make sure you're caught up in all your studies and kind of just like put the two together. Because honestly, like one of the biggest things that'll like get you on to like a college, obviously athletics will help you get there, but I've seen so many of like my friends and athletes will have like so much athletic potential, like so talented people, and they just like won't make it to their full potential because like they just won't focus on their grades. Like there's like literally just some of the simplest things in college. Like I've seen some great athletes they just like got too focused on athletics and like let other things in life become unbalanced and like didn't focus on their grades. And it's like, dude, like, why are you missing this meet because like you're failing the class? Like, that shouldn't be a thing. You should just be on top of that and make sure you have everything balanced. And that's like honestly how like you live your best life and how everything will work out for you. But yeah. Any other questions? Oh, that's a good question. That's where I kind of like reflect on myself. Like if I didn't have running, like where would I be? And I think obviously like I would have like already graduated, probably living in like another job and stuff. But that's a hard question because I don't know. Like you find these passions in your life, and I kind of just like found running as my passion. And so that was like one of the big questions is like some of my interviews and stuff and like articles that I'll do with like other people. They're like, oh, like what do you do outside of running, and like what are your other passions? I'm like, oh shoot, like I don't know. And I think that's where a big thing like where faith comes in, because like faith is like all of our passion here. Like you just kind of like have faith in God that I would have found a different path, that's something that I loved, and kind of just like trust in Him that I would have gone a different route and it would have played out just as well as it is for me now. Anything else? We'll go with you. What's my workout? So like daily, we kind of just like focus around getting in like at least 7 miles. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Thursday, they're just like regular like 7-mile runs, and they'll have like other stuff like weights and stuff. But Tuesdays and Saturdays are the days that kick my butt, because that'll be like when we're on the track or doing like these things called tempo runs. They'll be like just shorter runs, but a lot faster. And so, I don't know, just like an example of like what I did yesterday. I had like a mile that I had to do. I think I ran that like 4:40, and then there was like 3,000 like 1,000-meter runs after that. And it's just like you only get like 2 minutes rest in between each thing. I'm trying to like explain it, but I don't know, just like a lot of interval work. And I don't know. Sometimes my teammates, like when I just won't be feeling some good some days, they'll just like kick my butt. But I don't know, they're tough. That's kind of like the best I can describe it though. What is it like when I feel? I'll describe like a race. So like one of my races, like for that first lap, you kind of just like get out there and you're just like coasting. Like obviously you have the energy to make it one lap. And then the second lap is like kind of when the race like starts to get more intense. And that's where you gotta like start kicking it in. But you start feeling like, just like, I can almost like feel the energy just like slowly start draining from the legs. And like as you're coming around the last turn, it's just like, oh no, like I'm starting to tighten up, the muscles are starting to tighten. And then you, like the adrenaline kind of kicks over, just the excitement. Then you're like coming around and you can like see the line. And then you're just like kind of telling, like in my mind, I don't really ever know what's going on, but they'll just like keep moving, stay smooth, just like almost like telling your legs to keep going. That's just like pure exhaustion. But like as for like regular workout runs, again, that's like, you're not like pushing yourself to the limits on like your regular workouts. And so that's again just like a cool time to reflect and just kind of like, obviously we'll have like groups at Kansas that we'll just like talk to each other. It's really like fun sport to kind of just like hang out, because we'll just all be running on the roads going at a normal pace and kind of just getting to hang out together. But that's what's going through my mind normally. Yeah, in the back.
I have one last question, if you don't mind. I'm going to revert you all the way back to when you were today.
Yeah.
Jumped off so hard. What was your like favorite thing you did? Tell us just a little bit about your experience with jump rope so hard.
Yeah, no, that was like definitely the funnest time of the year. I don't know what it was about it, but getting to do that and like challenging myself, that's what it all is about. Like almost like just finding new challenges for yourself. And I remember just like the competition between friends and like, oh, like I want to learn this trick. And you just like kind of, it was just like a new challenge to like push myself to like, okay, like I want to see how I can perfect this. I want to see like how I can better myself at doing this. And that's kind of like where it all comes together for me, is like in competition and being healthy. It's like, how good can I be to myself and like make my own self proud, and like, oh, like this is how healthy I am. This is how well I am at like jump rope. And I think just that challenge and like making sure that you're doing everything that you can to be like the best person that you can be. And like that kind of like tie that in with jump rope. Just like challenging yourself, making sure that you're doing everything that you can to be healthy, be studious, and just achieve all the goals that you just want to go after. Because like bringing it all back around, I was sitting right here in your shoes. It feels like yesterday, and like now I get to travel around the world and just get to run for a living. And so it's fun. Just go after your dreams and find what you love and chase after your passions.